Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give y'all a chance to scroll on in before I dive into the topic for the day. Hopefully, y'all having a peaceful Tuesday thus far. Everything going smoothly for you all. Focused on taking care of your health, maintaining your peace, and all that good stuff, man. Centering yourself. Peace, Amber. What's going on? How the moms doing? How the moms holding up? We gotta take care of our health, man. That's the theme. This video. I was a little motivated, inspired. Plant God, peace. What's going on? Andrew, peace. How you living, man? How y'all feeling? Asia, peace. What's going on? And when you say you're worried about the kids, what you mean? All right, Amber, there we go. There we go. Try to get some mushrooms in there as well. The mushrooms, dark leafy greens, all that good stuff. We're gonna tackle that. We're gonna tackle that breast cancer. We're gonna knock that out. We're gonna knock that out the park. Let your moms know that we all riding with her, riding for her. It's easy. Oh, Asia, man, most definitely. I definitely understand that. And sadly to say, sometimes when you look at the future in regards to the matrix that you are talking about, the future doesn't necessarily look too bright. It doesn't necessarily look too bright, man. The path that a lot of the youngsters are walking down, man, it's horrible in regards to the programming, the conditioning, and all that good stuff that's going on out here. Like they got a hold on us, man. They got a hold on us from the educational system to the foods that we eat to entertainment. Like they got a good grip on our psyches, man, on the psychological, on the mental. Pseudo charlatans, peace. What's going on? And Asia, that's most definitely, that's my goal, man. If I have kids, no, I don't want to send them out into the school system because I have a ton of different experiences myself dealing with the school system, and it's just not the best system, especially for Black children. It's not the best system. It's not the best system. The educational system, it needs a lot of revision. But we already know that revision is not going to happen in regards to it benefiting us. So that's not going to happen. We can give that up. We can give that one up. So we do, like I said, we do a lot of protesting, but we like overlook a lot of aspects of life. And I think the educational system is where we tend to overlook a lot of things. We stress education to these kids, but what type of education are they getting? We encourage these children to go to school, get your degree and all that nonsense. But look at what they are learning, all the while attaining that degree. Look at what they are learning all the while in high school, in middle school. None of this stuff is really of benefit to the Black child, especially. And we're not even getting into the everyday practical things that they should learn when they become an adult. Like they don't learn typical everyday things that everybody or every child should learn, let alone the way they have been miseducated in regards to their culture and history. So it's a lot working against that Black child when you put them into that, when you institutionalize them, because that's what's happening. And then on top of that, when you look at the school system, I don't know how it was when you all went to school, but when you ate that lunch, like the school lunch, trash. The foods that they fed the kids back in my day, garbage. So it's like, dude, what are we really promoting? Like, what are we really striving to do? What is this system really striving to do? You could just see the way they are striving to kill us, man. Just look at, like I said, back when I was in school, man, if you ate the school lunch, man, that should be where health is promoted. Man, they was giving us some of the worst food in regards to quality known to man. There's no way you should have been feeding a child that type of food. Then you will feed them this type of food, and then you will label them with ADHD, say they're hyperactive, say they can't sit still, and things of that nature. Look at all the processed foods you are feeding these kids, man. Then you want to diagnose them with a disorder and then put them on medication, put them in special ed and things of that nature. All the while, look at what you are feeding them. Look at the way that you are teaching them. Like, it's all nonsense, man. It's all nonsense, and it's all a setup for the most part. Thunder Scorpion, what's going on with you? Pseudo charlatans, man. I'm chilling, maintaining, man. Like I said, I'm just a little inspired to talk about health today. That's about it. That's about it, man. I've just been analyzing and I've been looking at life around me, and it's a lot of struggling going on in regards to us taking better care of ourselves from that health and fitness perspective. And I just wanted to kind of build on it. Oh, Asia, when they come like that, that's when stuff is gonna get real. And a lot of people have been talking about this for years. Now, I don't know the extent of how real it's gonna get, but when they administer this vaccine for this COVID, like, they gonna try to really force it down our throats. Now, there's ways around it in regards to the laws that they have constructed, so we can use their laws against them in regards to not getting a vaccine. But I feel like they're gonna make it real challenging for those who opt out of receiving that vaccine. I can see that coming. I can see that coming. Patrick, peace, man. What's going on? I appreciate that, Patrick. I definitely appreciate it. And Andrew, in regards to the end of the world, I'm not big on a lot of people. Mainly, a lot of religious people, they always talking about the end times, the end of the last days and things of that nature, man. They've been saying that since I've been born, and they've been saying that pre my birth. We've been in the last days forever. You know what I mean? So I don't really entertain any end of the world philosophies and prophecies and things of that nature because I'm not really religious. So I don't really see that. Like, I don't concern myself with the end of the world. I focus on my world. So the end of the world for me is when I cease to exist. That's the end of my world. And that's the only thing that I really focus on. I don't focus on the world coming to a catastrophic end in regards to some prophecy. Don't necessarily see that. I don't necessarily see that happening. So the end of the world is not something I concern myself with. I'm not concerned about that at all in regards to the prophecies that are out here. So I don't really concern myself about the end of the world and things of that nature. And most people that even adhere to some of those philosophies and those prophecies subconsciously, they don't believe in them because they still go out here and do the everyday things that they need to do. If you really convinced that the world is ending, then why are you going out to work every other day when you think the world is going to end in a few months type deal? So it's like subconsciously people don't be believing in that nonsense, man. A lot of it is nonsense in regards to the end of the world prophecies and things of that nature. So I don't really subscribe to them, nor concern myself with a lot of them. I done survived a lot of end of the world prophecies, as I'm sure you all have too. Oh yeah, Asia, they've started a little bit here. They've started a little bit here. And in regards to the journey when it comes to getting that knowledge, Asia, it definitely can become overwhelming. That's why when you look at our ancestors and when you look at a lot of ancient cultures, that's why a lot of people had masters. In my culture, we have what's called an enlightener. So it's like somebody passing that knowledge down to you. Somebody that did it before you got to show you the ropes. They got to show you what to study and what not to study. So that's why sometimes that's best to have that person guide you, because when you strive to do it all on your own, it can be an overwhelming task. And our ancestors knew that. That's why you had people that was teaching the game to everybody else when they reached that level of enlightenment. But it's a strenuous process. It's a strenuous process. You got to do a lot of studying in regards to this path, man. So a lot of people, they not ready for this path. They're not ready for it. They not ready for it because, like you said, it can be overwhelming. So you got to decipher what's fact from fiction. You got to decipher the reality from the fiction. And that is the daunting task. That is the problem. That's when it becomes complicated. That's when it gets overwhelming. Because I've been there, done that. I've been there, done that. I'm still doing it. It's complicated, man. Like I said, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. Like I got about, if I had to estimate, I say I got about 500 to 600 books in my spot right now. That's a lot of reading, man. Not too many people are about to take on the task of reading that many books. Not too many people are about to do that. That's intimidating. That's intimidating, especially when you start reading a lot of conflicting pieces of information. Then you got to figure out what piece of information is legit, which one is not legit. So you got to study the sources of both of those conflicting pieces of information. So it's a complicated task. And that's why I said in a previous video, that's why I expressed how much I kind of dislike the microwave generation that we live in regards to people just thinking that they can become a master in a subject just by searching it on Google and looking at the first 2 or 3 articles. And they think that they can tell a person who has been researching it for years about it. It's like, man, that's a slap in the face to the people that dedicate their time and their energy to real research. So we got to stop thinking that we can just Google something. And then another thing, it is okay to take your time in regards to reaching a conclusion. So a lot of times we want to just think we know something so fast. That's why when we Google something that we come across those first 2 articles, then we roll with those first 2 articles. You don't have to roll with the first 2 articles that you come across. Continue to do more research. If you got a question and you need an answer to that question, it may take you a month to find the answer to that question. And it may be a simple question. But we don't have patience. We lack patience. So we want that answer ASAP. So we either go to Google and the first article we come across, we're going to roll with that first article as if it's the gospel, as if it's 100% true. Got to stop doing that, man. Research requires patience. Got to be patient. Got to be patient. Got to do your due diligence. Got to put in your time. Got to put in your hours. Got to put in your minutes in regards to research. That's if you truly want to know about a subject or truly want to master a subject. You got to dedicate time, energy, and effort to researching that subject matter. You cannot just Google search it or watch a YouTube video on that subject matter. You have got to read books. You've got to look up peer-reviewed articles. You can watch the scholars on YouTube, but you got to do all of that. You've got to do all of that, and you've got to do it repeatedly because information is always changing. Things are being updated. Things are evolving. So you got to stay on top of the evolution in regards to the subject matter in industry. That's crucial. So we got to stop sleeping on real research. Like, to find certain answers requires time. To find certain answers in regards to some subject matter, some of the subject matter that's out here, it requires time, patience. You're not going to find an answer overnight. If you truly want to know how to live a healthy life and you striving to research it for yourself, you're not going to come across an answer in a week. That is going to take years of study and trial and error. And you are never really going to master that. You're going to always have to continue to do the research. So a lot of people, they get content and they settle on a piece of information. And they feel as if they don't have to do any more knowledge or research in regards to certain pieces of subject matter when they reach this conclusion that they are satisfied with. You should never stop learning. When you stop learning, that's when you die. That's what they say. That's what they say. Oh yeah, Asia, the FEMA camps, man, I done been talking about FEMA camps for like 10 plus years. I remember I talked about something called Rex 84. If you all don't know what that is, when you get off of here, do some research on that. Rex 84 and things of that nature, man. They've been having these FEMA camps, FEMA prisons, and all of that. Like they've had caskets and all that lined up for us. Because what is the mission for them? Depopulation. So they didn't already had this stuff lined up, man. It's been in the making for some years. It's been in the making for some years. Oh yeah, Asia, we done been fooled, tricked, bamboozled, all of that nonsense by a lot of people. By a lot of people. Pseudo charlatans, discipline is definitely the key. Discipline is definitely the key. Sweet Tea, peace, what's going on? Randy Mosette, Lindell, peace, what's going on? Yeah, these phones, $1,000+ and like you said, don't want to do deep research. And some of the blame lies on these phones, man, to just keep us distracted. Attention span, horrible. I mean, I've literally had people try to come and tell me about certain aspects of fitness, and this is stuff that I do. And they will argue up and down with me. And I'm not saying that I know it all, but it's certain things that they will sit and argue with me about. And I'm like, man, listen to how that sounds. Listen to what you are arguing with me about. One of the main arguments that I tend to get, and y'all have heard me rant about this several times, but a lot of people continue to argue with me about consuming fruits. I'm just like, listen to how you are sounding. But these people, they get on Google and the first thing that comes up in regards to weight loss is limiting your carbs and to not consume fruits and things of that nature. So they roll with that. Instead of diving more deeply into the subject matter, they roll with that off the rip. And then they come talk to an expert, and then they striving to tell the expert as if the expert hasn't done any type of research and knowledge. And the thing of it is, I can understand that because there's a lot of people out here that hold certain labels and they are misleading people. They don't do their due diligence and things of that nature. So I can understand that. But we have got to stop. We have got to stop settling in regards to the research, the information that we gather. Take your time, man. Take your time before you reach a conclusion. It will only work wonders for you. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, like I said, man, YouTube, you can get a lot of Jews from YouTube. You can get a lot of Jews from Google. But the thing of it is, man, you got to take all of it. And then a lot of people, this is the problem for a lot of people that I see a lot of people do. And I forget, man, I forget the term for it. It's like confirmation bias or something like that. But a lot of us, we only seek information that coincides with our perspective or our viewpoint or whatever the case may be. So it's like, if I'm a Christian, I'm only going to seek like information or research that lines up or correlates with my Christian beliefs. So if it's something that goes against my belief system, I'm more than likely not to engage in that type of research or that material. I think it's called confirmation bias, but we tend to do that a lot. So it's like, if I'm vegan, then I'm just only going to concern myself with vegan information. No, in order to truly do research, you have got to study the other side, the opposing side. That is the only way to reach a conclusion. That's the only true way to reach a conclusion, man. That's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. So you can't just be out here researching stuff that you agree with. No, you got to research the things that you do not agree with, that go against your belief system. That's only going to sharpen that mind. And that's what science is. See, that's really what a scientist is. A scientist, like if I'm vegan, if I subscribe to the vegan lifestyle, as a scientist, I'm seeking all information that will strive to prove why a vegan lifestyle is not the best lifestyle. That is what I'm after. I'm trying to read the information that's letting me know this lifestyle is not the best way to live. That's the type of information that I got to concern myself with. That's the type of information that I want to read. I don't want to read about why I feel like veganism is a great lifestyle. I've read enough about that. So now I need to go outside of veganism and I need to read things that argue against it. That's what a scientist is doing. We're trying to prove ourselves wrong. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion in Asia. Yeah, Nigeria is getting crazy. Pseudo charlatans, you in the process of losing weight? Have you lost any thus far? Yeah, Brandy with the watermelon. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Not even have I heard that. I've read that, and that's the thing. So a lot of people when they come to me about fruits being bad, I already know the arguments that they will present because I've read them. So I'm already hip to watermelons supposedly having too much sugar. Then I tend to ask people because obesity is a problem in this country. I'm like, do y'all really honestly believe that most of the people in this country are obese because they eat too many fruits? Like, that's the first question that I ask people. So do we think most people in this country are obese because they are eating too many watermelons, too many strawberries, too many blackberries, blueberries, oranges, limes, lemons, grapefruits, etc., etc.? Is that why we think most people in this country are overweight or obese? Again, man, it's just something to think about. I ask people that all the time. Why do we think most people in this country are overweight and obese? It has nothing to do with fruits. It has little to do with fruits. Thunder Scorpion, man, listen, that example, I have explained that to a lot of different people. And it also another analogy is like a car. So it's like you entering into the car market, you striving to purchase a car. So it's like let's say you looking for a 2020 Nissan Altima, a black one. So it's like before you make this purchase, you swear up and down that you have never seen that car. You haven't seen many people driving that 2020 black Nissan Altima. Then you purchase the car. Now you start to see more 2020 black Nissan Altimas. Those Nissan Altimas, those 2020 black Nissan Altimas were always there. It's just when you got it, now that confirmation bias is sinking in. So now you're going to see more of it. A lot of people don't understand that. So sometimes we attach significance to things that really are insignificant or not as significant as we would like for them to be. And that number thing is crucial. Because even I've been there, done that. So we attach significance to seeing certain number sequences. So it's like when you see a certain number sequence, like 1111, that's going to stick out more than 1112. So when you see 1111, that's going to stick to you. So now you about to start seeing that repeatedly. It happens all the time. A lot of people don't understand that. Now we can attach significance to the numbers. Everybody has a numerical system. But the reason why you are starting to see more of that number, like it's not really the universe striving to talk to you. It's just because you saw a number that looked significant to you and it registered in your brain as something significant because you placed importance upon it. Once you do that, you're going to start to see more of it. I guarantee you. Mr. Barack Obama, peace, what's going on? Pseudo charlatans, let's get it, man. How many more pounds we got to lose? Yeah, so a lot of times, man, we attach, especially black people. I really don't like to say it, but I gotta talk about some of our weaknesses, man. We start to get real, as we call it, spooky. We tend to get overly spooky with things, man, and we get overly emotional, and sometimes overly. I don't even like to use the word spiritual, man, but sometimes we tend to get overly spiritual about things. Like we always think things are a lot bigger than what they are sometimes. Like sometimes you may just simply be seeing that 1111 because it registered as an important number to you. So now you just seeing more of it. It don't necessarily always got to be some divine intervention and things of that nature. Doesn't always have to be that. And a lot of these other cultures, they prey on that. They know how we are when it comes to like just emotions. Like they know that we just get overly emotional, overly spiritual, and things of that nature. We don't really get scientific and logical when it comes to breaking down certain things. We not as critical, and sometimes they can get us on that. Sometimes they can get us on that. And that's where I tend to be the black sheep, just amongst like family and things of that nature, because I'm more so logical, scientific in my reasoning and thinking. Not saying that it's right and exact all the times, but I'm not about to just roll with something and make it bigger than what it is. I'm gonna really analyze everything. So like Thunder Scorpion brought up the 1111, I'm gonna really start to ask myself, why am I seeing this more? Before I make it bigger than what it really is, I'm gonna really start to thoroughly break down this. Because then what tends to happen? We start to see things like numbers and we attach significance to it. And then guess what we go do? We go to Google and we look up what numbers mean, and we pretty much gonna roll with a definition that was given to us by somebody who doesn't look like us. And there we go. And the cycle continues. And the cycle continues. So even when it comes to numerical systems, even dream interpretations, most of the times when it comes to those theories and perspectives, like we not rolling with something from our own culture. We not rolling with something from our own culture when it comes to interpreting dreams and numbers. So my math, as you all have heard me build on several times, my math is different from, it may be different from your math. So the way you may break down a number is going to be very different in regards to how I see it. So again, it's letting you know who's really in control. It's us. It's your mind. It's your perspective. You gonna choose, and then that's another thing that happens. Once we make something overly significant, we look it up. But guess what happens when we tend to look things up? If it's not a definition that we like, we're gonna keep searching until we find something that we like. So hence, if you seeing 1111, we just gonna keep rolling with that example. If you see an 1111 and you look up what that means, and let's say the first 2 or 3 descriptions that you get, negative, 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 you're not gonna roll with that because you don't like that. You need to see something positive. So you're gonna keep searching and you're gonna finally find something positive, and that's what you're gonna roll with. You're gonna roll with that 11 and 11 meaning something positive instead of the 3 to 4 negative things that you saw, negative descriptions for that 1111. You're gonna settle on the positive. And if the first definition you come across is positive, you may tend to roll with that. You may tend to roll with that. Zucco, Peach, what's going on? Pseudo Charlatan says, man, you halfway there. My man's Cash, bro, what's going on with you? Yeah, Pseudo Charlatans, you halfway there, man. Light work. Light work. Knock that other 50 out, man. Light work. You got it. The Shell, Peace, what's going on? Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, like I said previously, the world is always in. The world has been ending since I've been born and then pre my birth. So I don't entertain any type of theories like that no longer. I no longer care about anything pertaining to the world coming to an end. Nothing. Like you might as well just not had a conversation with me if you think the world is going to end, because subconsciously you don't believe that. Because you finna get up, go to work every day, handle your business. If you thought the world was ending, then you would truly prepare for it. And nobody preparing for doomsday out here. It's a select few that may be doing that. Listen, I'm a Thunder Scorpion where I'm at, St. Louis, and it's crazy because we all know how the weather operates. We say the same thing around this same time every year about the weather this side of town. It's unpredictable. 1 minute it may be 75 degrees, then the next day it may snow, may have ice, maybe 40, maybe 20 degrees. Every year it seems like somebody associates that with the world coming to an end, or we in the last days because of the weather. Like, come on, man. How long have we been here? This weather has always, for the most part, been like this. We are in the Midwest. That's what's going to happen. And then just look how we polluting the environment. Like, that's the reason why, like, I mean, come on. That's one of the reasons why the weather fluctuate like it does, man. That's one of the reasons why the universe may appear to not like us at certain times, man, because look at what we dishing out to the universe. Look at how we treat the universe. We polluting the universe, man. That's why a lot of things are occurring and transpiring, man, because look how we polluting the environment. But we don't want to talk about that. We want to make it some large, crazy, spooky prophecy. But Lachelle, I'm doing fantastic, man. I was pretty much inspired by this book I read that talked about the standard American diet and how it makes you sad. Donna C, peace, what's going on? But yeah, people don't even understand standard American diet. That's what they call it. Acronym SAD. Sad. That's exactly how this diet tends to make you. That's why depression is so high. That's why mental health is the way that it is. That's why we have a lot of these mental disorders, man, because we consuming that standard American diet, that westernized diet, that Western way of living. I can't tell you how many cultures that they have studied that pre being introduced to the standard American diet, they were excelling as far as their health goes. Soon as they were introduced to the standard American diet, health started to decline rapidly. Diabetes, like things that they never had to face, they started to face. Diabetes, man, high blood pressure, cancer, obesity, etc., etc. Once they were introduced to the Western way of living. The standard American diet is the problem, not fruits. Fruits are not the problem. It's the standard American diet. It's the refined carbs. It's all the processed foods. It's all the fast food. Like this is all affecting your mental. This is all affecting your brain. But they don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that at all. They just want to make it seem like, oh, it's genetic, runs in the family. And then they want to just prescribe you some type of medication for the mental state that you are in. They don't want to say that it's a link between the foods that you are consuming and your mental health. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. But processed food creates a processed mind. And you know the type of damage that processed foods do to the body. It's doing the same thing to the mind. And I done already talked about consuming meat. You consuming that trauma. So we've already talked about that. We've already talked about that. So when you consume those processed foods, that's giving birth to that processed mind, that processed mentality, that toxic mind, that toxic mentality. So if you want to improve your mental health, your mental state of mind, you got to remove the processed foods. You got to remove the fast foods. You got to limit severely the animal protein that you consuming, the dairy products. You got to limit, you got to minimize those things. You got to minimize anything that's creating a toxic environment internally. That will lead to the decline of your mental health. And that's just an actual fact. Thunder Scorpion, man, peace, man. You be easy out here. You stay safe, bro. But that's an actual fact that they don't like to discuss. They don't want to make it seem like it's a link between your mental health and the foods that you consume. But that's the biggest link. That's the biggest link. Because one of the things that they have linked to mental health is inflammation. Inflammation. So a lot of the foods that we consume, these foods that we consume are toxic, acidic. That is one of the main causes of inflammation. So if you want to improve your mental condition, and inflammation is one of the things that causes it, then you want to consume foods that are anti-inflammatory. We already know the foods that are anti-inflammatory. It's your plant-based foods, your vegetables, your spices, your fruits. These are anti-inflammatory. They have phytochemicals, antioxidants, and things of that nature. Those are the foods that you want to consume more of because they are anti-inflammatory. And inflammation is one of the causes of your mental health declining. So you want to consume those anti-inflammatory foods on a daily basis. You don't want your system to be inflamed. You don't want that inflammation. You don't want that internal inflammation. Yeah, Lachelle, and the crazy thing about it is they would rather, this is what's crazy. And this is honestly, I don't want to say this is what I believe. I don't like using that word, but honestly, this is really what has happened. And a lot of people can't see this because I think they are all in connection with one another. But it's like at the end of the day, they have sold us plenty of lifestyles to make us overweight, obese, and things of that nature. And then instead of really getting to the root of what causes the problem, this is what they do. They create all these bad diets out here, and they make more money off of us. They make more money off of the condition that they have created by selling us fad diets to temporarily put a band-aid on the problem. So we gonna make the population, we gonna make most of the population obese and overweight. Then we gonna give them something called a keto diet, and we gonna make more money off of them. We gonna make more money off of them. So we gonna make them overweight and obese. Then we gonna tell them that they can't eat fruits and things of that nature. They can eat bacon. They can eat hamburgers without the bread. So they still making money off of it. They making more money off of us. These same industries that's causing the problem are making money telling you that they can solve the problem. Again, the same industries that are the cause of the problem, overweight, obesity, are the same industries selling you a solution to the problem. So the main foods that make up the so-called keto diet, some of those main foods contribute to a lot of our problems in this particular country. So they making like double, triple, quadruple the money. So they have made us overweight and obese, and then they telling you to eat these same foods to reverse the problem or to lose the weight. Again, they're not really worried about your overall health and well-being, because like I've said previously, all diets work to an extent. Then you end up hitting the wall. So they just pretty much telling you that lifestyle so you can temporarily lose the weight. And this is what happens. They know that diet is not sustainable for the long term. So they sell you that diet, right? And they know that it's not sustainable. They know that it's nearly impossible to go without carbs for that long. So what happens? You're going to go on the keto diet for a month, 2 months, however long you can handle it. And then you're going to end up folding. You're going to break, and then you're going to start consuming carbs. And guess what? You're going to put your weight back on. Then what you going to do? You're going to blame it on the carbs. So now that's how they get you. So now you're going to think the carbs were the problem, because as soon as you reintroduce the carbs back into your lifestyle, you gain the weight back. What people don't really understand is that's with any type of diet. The moment you reintroduce anything back into your lifestyle, you're going to put the weight back on. That doesn't necessarily mean that the carbs were the problem. So a lot of people don't understand how that works. So then you think, well, the keto diet worked while I was on it, but then once I got off of it, I put the weight back on. So I need to go back on the keto diet. So that is how they trick you. That is how they get you. That is the science of how that works. And it does that every time. So people never really blame the keto diet, or they never really see the keto diet as the problem. They only feel like it's a problem when they reintroduce carbs back into their lifestyle and put the weight back on, because that's what's going to happen, because that's your brain naturally thrives and craves sugar. So you're going to always want to go back to them carbs. But it's the type of carbs that we tend to reintroduce back into our lifestyles that cause the problem. But we don't know and understand that, because we've placed all carbs in one box. So that's what we have done. Instead of us looking at the keto diet as an actual problem, something that's not conducive to our overall health and well-being, we don't see it like that. We see it as something that can be a tool to lose weight. And that's exactly how they sell it to us. So they making quadruple the money off of us, man. So we eating that food to get sick. Then they tell you to eat that food to lose weight. So that's the world that we living in. Give it another 20, 30, 40 years, then they're going to tell you it's going to be different science that's out here. They're going to be telling you that the keto lifestyle is not the way to eat, and they're going to be telling you to consume carbs. That's what's going to end up happening probably when we're not even existing. Everybody's going to be following a high carb lifestyle. Then they're going to sell people a high protein type of lifestyle to kind of counter. Oh yeah, Dynasty, most definitely. Most definitely consumer. That's why I always encourage people to be producers, to produce as well as consume. We got to be producers and pseudo charlatans. Yeah, that I mean that's good as far as the meat can. Yeah, just again minimize it. So eat it every 2 days if you can. No, you don't have to consume it every day. And the keto diet is not something that you want to strive to understand. In Gaya University, refined carbs, artificial sugar, added sugar, most definitely. Most definitely something that you need to stay away from. But people need to learn how to decipher the actual sugar that the body needs from the artificial sugar that's out here, the added sugar and things of that nature. So again, like I said, it ain't really no problem. And then when people talk about fruits, it's like too much of anything, because they always ask me, can you eat too many fruits? Or is eating too many fruits good or bad for you? Too much of anything is a problem. Too much water will kill you. Too many vegetables will harm you. So of course, too many fruits will cause damage. So you never want to just overload on fruits, because you never want to overload on anything. It's always about balance, diversity, variety. So that's always the key. But my whole thing is don't run away from fruits, because fruits, by and large, are nowhere near the problem. There are too many benefits when it comes to fruit consumption for me to tell somebody or encourage somebody to stay away from fruits. It's too many things. It's too many essential vitamins, nutrients, etc., in all types of fruits for me to be like, stay away from fruits. I can't do that. It doesn't even make any sense. When it comes to just studying how our ancestors ate things, and then one thing we can all agree on, whether or not they were vegan, raw food, all that, one thing we can agree on is that they definitely ate their fair share of like fruits and veggies. That's one thing we can all agree on. That's one thing that we can definitely agree on. 1228, the Great Peace. What's going on with you, my brother? So when it comes, when I talk about fruits, the way that I talk about them, man, I'm talking about them in the sense of you not having to feel like you got to stay away from them and you can't consume them. Because some of the other foods that you may be consuming may be contributing to your problem a little bit more than the fruits. I'm going to even give you a prime example. A lot of people talk about fish and they don't understand how fattening fish can really be. So the whole while we may be staying away from fruits, talking about the sugar, then we may be consuming fish and that fish is fattening. And we think when we consuming this fish, we getting protein. And most fish is actually more fat than protein that comes with the fish. But we're afraid of sugar in fruits. A lot of some of the meat that we consume is way too fattening. But again, we concerned with the sugar that comes with fruit. So we got to shift that paradigm, of course. Like I said, it's too many benefits that come with consuming fruits. You're getting way more benefits consuming a wide variety of fruits than you are consuming a wide variety of meats. And that's just a fact, a big time fact. The wide variety of meats don't even come close to having the benefits of a wide variety of fruits. Don't even come close. Pseudo charlatans, and that's what you got to do, is smoothie every day. Smoothie a day, keep the doctor away type deal. Definitely recommend a smoothie a day, man. But my research is leading me in the direction that we should at least be about 50 to 75% raw food. Like all of my research is lining up in favor of that perspective and that lifestyle. Like all of the evidence is lining up that the more raw foods we consume, the better. It's just too many benefits that come with raw foods. And a lot of times, some of the foods that are supposed to be beneficial, we cook them at so high of a temperature that we kill the benefits. So some of us be like, I eat vegetables. I eat my vegetables. I eat broccoli. I eat this, that, and the third. But it's like, man, they cook it at so high of a temperature that it's like you basically eating an empty calorie. You're not getting the benefits from that broccoli or those Brussels sprouts when you cook them at too high of a temperature. You just not. So we got to start consuming more raw fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and things of that nature. So again, it's one thing to say that you do eat your vegetables, but then how do you eat the vegetables becomes the question that must be answered. So if you're not eating them raw, then more than likely you overcooking the vegetables and you destroying a lot of essential vitamins and minerals that you are supposed to be getting from that vegetable. Like, we not out here cooking fruit, so when we eat fruits, we tend to eat those raw anyway. So we getting a lot of the essential vitamins and minerals from the fruits. It's the vegetables that we tend to overcook. So we need to work on getting that raw vegetable game up. A lot of people do not consume enough vegetables in the raw state. That's the best way to consume most of the vegetables. So, man, like I said, about 50 to 75% raw. I mean, you should have raw days, man, like every other day, just raw foods. Like, we really need to boost our consumption of raw foods, raw organic foods. Let me phrase it that way. Organic raw foods. And we can't focus on how expensive something might be. Can't focus on that. Can't focus on that. It's going to be more expensive when you're eating your way to that grave and all the complications that you will gain by eating incorrectly. So you got to look at the bigger picture, man, when you invest in your health. So 50 to 75% raw, man, that's most definitely how we should be living, according to just all the research, man. If you come across honest research in regards to health and fitness, they're going to let you know that you should be eating more raw organic foods, like all of them. That's going to be the consensus, or one of the main consensus, is that we should be eating more raw foods. And I mean, all of my research, man, that's where it's lining up to the point now where I'm actually studying the raw food lifestyle. Like the book I got here that I'm breaking down now, Becoming Raw, The Essential Guide to Raw Vegan Diets. Like, this the book that I'm breaking down now. Becoming Raw, The Essential Guide to Raw Vegan Diets. Like, I didn't have to start studying this lifestyle because I keep coming across it in books that's not even related to like raw foodism. So I'm coming across people just letting you know that, hey, the more raw foods you consume, the better. So I'm finna just start studying it and seeing what I can gather from studying that lifestyle. Yeah, pseudo charlatan, steaming it will be better than boiling it. Because I read something recently that said the more water that you put the food in regards to when you cooking it, like the more the nutrients are being tapped, the more nutrients that are being lost in that process. So with that said, they was like steaming it would be better than boiling it. Or steaming your food would be better than boiling it. But Gale University, yeah, that's definitely big in regards to emotional eating. A lot of people are emotional eaters. And the thing of it is, it will be cool because for the most part, when you run into people who are emotional eaters, a lot of times they crave things that are sugary. If you grab the right the right type of sugary foods, then that would be okay. But for the most part, we gravitate towards the refined carbs. And pseudo charlatans, I'm gonna see if I can find the highlight for you. Like, I don't know if I highlighted. I'm about to see if I can find that highlight. I don't know if I highlighted it, but I'm trying to see if I can find it, man. It was some. It's also some in this particular book that I'm reading. I'm just trying to see if I highlighted it in regards to that boiling versus steaming. But I mean, exactly what I said is what it said. I just like to go right to the source. So I'm trying to see if I can find it. So give me a little second right here. All right, here we go. Pseudo charlatans. Here we go, straight from the source. So in regards to boiling versus steaming, so many phytochemicals are water soluble. So losses are greater with boiling than with steaming. Losses are accelerated when the cooking time and temperature are increased. The most exciting findings, particularly for raw food adherents, are the discoveries concerning two enzymes in vegetables, and that's when they talk about two important enzymes. But the main thing that I highlighted was many phytochemicals are water soluble, so losses are greater with boiling than with steaming. So you are losing more of the essential phytochemicals, which are plant chemicals, which come with a ton of benefits. You are losing more of those in the vegetables when you boil, opposed to steaming them. So if you had to choose between the two, you would rather go with steaming the vegetables opposed to boiling them. So I had to go right to the source on that one because I had just came across it and you had just asked that question. Gale University, yeah, that used to be a thing where we would sit at the table and eat. And people don't understand that too, man. I need to do a video on that, but what people don't understand, man, that's some, like, not the emotional aspect, like, but that just attachment to, not attachment, but the way that we prepare foods, like how important that is, like preparing food in the right state of mind. And then the way that you are feeling while you are consuming the food. So just your whole mentality while the food is being consumed. Hence why some people tell you not to watch television while you are consuming food, because you need to be mindful. You need to be present in the moment while you are consuming that food. You need to give that food your full attention while you are consuming it. So you got a lot of people that tell you do not distract yourself while you are consuming food. So you need to be in that positive, mindful state while you are consuming that food. And then the importance of chewing. A lot of people don't properly chew the food. Another quote for you all to ponder on. They say you are what you eat. I read a book that said you are not what you eat, but you are what you digest. And people do not, that right there is deep. People say you are what you eat, but that joint said you are what you digest. Just because you are eating something don't mean that you are necessarily digesting and absorbing it and extracting the nutrients from that food. If you're not chewing that food thoroughly, more than likely, you are also not receiving the proper benefits from that food. So again, you are what you digest. So it's a little bit deeper than you are what you eat. You got to digest that food, got to absorb that food. Food has to be assimilated and things of that nature. If it's not properly chewed, I can guarantee you it's not being properly broken down. So you got to chew that food till it's almost like a liquid. They tell you to chew for like 40 to 100 times. So you really gotta focus on chewing your food. That is critical. That's crucial. I've been doing a lot more of that. I've actually been focusing more on chewing my foods here of lately, and I can already just notice the difference. So a lot of things we sleep on in regards to the way that we consume our foods, preparation, just being mindful, present in the moment while we are consuming the food, not being distracted, chewing the food thoroughly. Heck, I saw one thing that said when you stressed out, don't eat. Because when you stressed out, you know, when your gut, because that's your second brain, but the gut is critical in regards to digesting the food, breaking it down, extracting the nutrients. So they say when you are stressed out, that gut is affected. So what happens is when you stressed out and you consume a food that's supposed to have some benefits to it, well, the simple fact that you are stressed out, it is causing that food to now become toxic, and it ferments and it rots in your system instead of being thoroughly broken down, because your digestive system is all out of whack because you are stressed out. So they say do not eat or consume food in a stressful state because it can impact the quality of the food being consumed. So that's crucial. So when you are in a stressed out state, do not consume food. Don't do it because it's going to impact the quality of that food in a negative manner. So when you stress out, do not consume the food. It is not necessarily making you feel good, and you are not getting the benefits from that food when you are eating while you are stressed out, especially when it's a food that's supposed to benefit you. So that is very important. Do not eat food while you are stressed out. Focus on chewing your food thoroughly till it's almost like a liquid. Like the food should feel like a smoothie. It should feel like you have consumed a smoothie once you swallow the food. So it should almost be in a near liquid state. So do not sleep on the process of chewing, man. Chew your food thoroughly. Stop eating in that stressed out state. You stressed out, no food. Because your mental state, your emotional state is crucial in regards to properly absorbing the nutrients from the food. So you need to eat when you are in that peaceful, centered state, when you are feeling good, when you're feeling positive. So that's crucial. Oh, pseudo charlatan. Yes, most of the comfort foods, because most of the comfort foods that we consume are toxic. So they definitely add to depression. Definitely. It's a dependency. It's a dependency. And it's only going to get stronger. That dependency is only going to get stronger every time you cave into it. So it adds on, it strengthens depression. Oh, Jamar, most definitely. And again, you the best knower of yourself. So when you feel yourself balancing out, then go ahead and consume that food. Oh, Gale University, most definitely. Most definitely. And people don't understand that. Like, the manner in which we eat is important. The manner in which we eat is important. Oh, Donna C. 95% of the population, probably more, don't do any type of detox, cleanse, nothing. None of that. Don't even get close to doing it. Pseudo charlatans, man, I pretty much intermittent fast every day. So I pretty much intermittent fast every day. As far as like 24-hour fast, like I do that occasionally, depends on where I'm at in life. Like, you know, because I'm a trainer, so depends on what my goal is at the time. So right now I'm focused more so on adding muscle. So I don't do as much fasting as I would like to do right now. But I intermittent fast every day. But we talking about like extended 24-hour plus fast type deal. I do those when I feel like shredding up a little bit. But when I'm focused on bulking up, adding a little muscle, I don't fast for 24 hours like that. So it just depends on where I'm at. But it's nothing for me to do a 24-hour fast. Straight water. There's nothing for me to do. I can do that easily now. But intermittent fasting, I pretty much skip breakfast like every day. And if I don't skip breakfast, I just have like a smoothie or some fruits or something like that. So I'm more so when I wake up, I'm straight water up until maybe 12, 1, 2 o'clock. Amber, I most definitely can understand that. And look, listen, life definitely happens. But that's when we need our health the most. Like, that's when we need our health the most. When life tends to smack us right in the face, that's when we need to be the healthiest self. That's when we need to be our healthiest and our strongest self. When life smacks us in the face, that's when we need our health the most. So if anything should be prioritized, it should always be your health, because that's what you're going to need the most when life gets rough. When life gets rough, you're going to need your health. You're going to need your health seriously. You're going to need your health seriously. So if it's one thing that ought to be prioritized, it should definitely be that. But it's going to be a rough and rocky road. It's going to be a rough and rocky road, especially when you're dealing with the mental aspect of it. Rough and rocky road. So that's why I said do the small changes, man. The small increments, change gradually in regards to reaching that optimal state of health. But that almost should be our only priority, our health. Like, that's where we almost can't afford to slip up, because the thing of it is, when life gets rough for us, and then let's say on top of life getting rough, our health starts to decline on top of that. Man, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good at all. So when life gets rough and then our health starts to go down with that's never good. So that's when you need that vitality. That's when you need that energy. That's when you need that muscle. When life starts to get crazy, then you're gonna be able to tackle your problems and run through those obstacles a lot easier. Because you're gonna have that endurance, that stamina, that vitality, that energy. Like life not gonna be able to get the best of you when you take care of your health. So that's just the one thing. I feel like that's the one thing that we gotta do. Pseudo charlatans, man, the best way to slim and tone, a lot of high intensity interval training with the weight. So a lot of circuit training. So find 5 to 6, 7 exercises, doing back to back to back, no rest in between, and you rest when it's all done. And you want to do it either for time, 30, 40 seconds a pop, or you could do it for reps, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing things with weights, then you can do reps, and you want to try to focus on higher reps if slimming and toning up is the goal. So maybe 15, 20, 25, 30 reps. And you want to just do a lot of circuits. And you will slim and tone in a matter of months, matter of weeks, depending on the body type. Yale University, sleep is definitely crucial. And that's the one aspect of health that I got to work on the most, sleep. So I be trying to make sure I get enough rest, man, because that's really where you reap the benefits of working out, of eating healthy, things of that nature. Rest is when you actually reap the benefits. That's when the body starts to put everything into motion. So resting is crucial. That's when you grow. Like when you lift in weights, you tearing the body down. When you rest, that's when the body is building up. So that's why rest is crucial. JFW 321, peace. What's going on with you? Yeah, so we gotta value rest a lot more. Like we definitely gotta do that. Yeah, the rest, man, like I said, the rest is something that I'm working on myself. Just making sure that I get adequate amount of rest. Yale University, a major part of our problem is we don't move enough. Motion is medicine. Movement is medicine. So it's just like when you sit down, man, like just every 30 minutes or so, just pop up, man, and do you some squats or something. Walk around the house, walk around the office, something like that. Just get up and move. But movement itself, motion is medicine. So any form of motion, any form of movement is good. Oh, Donna, see them 100 squats a day? Yeah, I can imagine you feeling that. Can imagine that. That's a lot of squatting. That's a lot of daily squatting. But man, y'all know how it is. I done got to venting again. I got to go ahead and tend to these clients. I got some people that I got to train. Got a little class at 5 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and head out to it. I had to change up my lives for this week because tomorrow, I usually go live on Wednesdays. But tomorrow, I got to go to this CPR first aid class. I got to renew my license for that. Only time available was during the evening time. So I got to attend this 6-hour class. So that's about to destroy me because I do not want to do that. So I'll probably be back Thursday. And I may go live Friday because I wasn't able to go Monday. I had some things that I had to do. I had to get for my gym and things of that nature. So I'll probably see you all Thursday. And I may either go Friday, Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, depending on how I'm feeling. But I definitely see you all Thursday. I got to sit in this ridiculous class tomorrow. So that's about to be exciting. But now I got to get up out of here, man. I got to go run these clients through the ground. Got to kill them. Y'all know how I do it. Y'all stay easy, stay peaceful out here, man. Y'all enjoy this Tuesday evening. Y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday. And I'm going to see you all Thursday, man. Y'all stay peaceful out here. Stay balanced. Stay centered. Build on the positives. Destroy the negatives. Peace, y'all.